Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1183. Hey, babe, how you doing? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally is in the house. My lady Dawn first. My lovely lady Dawn. That's right. Episode number 1183 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli. The Walking with Purpose Live Edition, live today from Red Morton Park because the sun has just set. It is sprinkling and it's supposed to rain pretty hard with showers in about an hour. So I'm only going to be doing 2 laps and then probably walking around the lot underneath the the overhang of the building for a little bit longer if possible. We're going to see. Today is day 15 of the GNA Positivity Challenge. Welcome, GLM. How are you doing? At tagged for clout. Yep. It's weird on these mobile streams. It shows your YouTube handle, and then when you're on desktop, it shows the actual channel. Anyway, day 15 of the GNA Positivity Challenge. Today I'm going to be talking about continuing to stand up for my reputation. One more time, today's topic is continuing to stand up for my reputation. Now, at the beginning of this stream today, again, I want to put out my disclaimer. I'm doing this stream for educational purposes. I really want to help people understand any situation in life, especially any situation that I've been through, and how it's affected me, and what I have done and what I am doing to rectify the situation. I am not doing this stream today, with any malice intent or anything like that. I'm doing this for educational purposes, and at the same time to also actually stand up for my reputation that has been tarnished and completely smeared by one creator on this YouTube platform that is technically banned from the platform. They were banned from the platform almost 3 years ago, or around 3 years ago. They are circumventing on here. They're also circumventing having a monetized channel when they shouldn't have one, because when your channels get shut down, you're not allowed to monetize on any other channel or even have a channel without monetization. So the person that has been smearing my name, the person that has created a massive smear campaign on me that basically started 6+ years ago, is continuing to smear my name and cause me extreme reputational harm and also extreme emotional distress intentionally. Now, I'm not going to come out here on this stream. I'm not here to get angry. I'm here to just state what's going on and make my audience aware, and again, defend my name and my honor in a respectful, mature, and professional way. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And if that's something that you don't want to watch or participate in the chat, whether you're here live or on the replay, that's on you. Okay? Whether you love me or not. If you're tired of this subject, I understand. But I'm going to continue to do what I have to do to defend my name and my honor in this incredible space we have nowadays in this modern world called the internet. So with that being said, You know, oh, I guess the people in that house seen me walk by with a camera and they wanna get a little attention, right? And those were guys yelling. Probably young guys. I used to be like that in my younger days, right? You see a camera, you wave and everything, right? Then you get older and you're like, this is dumb things, or these are dumb things that young kids do. They see a camera and they're like, "Ah, blah, 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 yeah, look at me, look at me, look at me," right? Well, the weird thing is, out here on YouTube, I'm seeing grown-ass adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond behave that way. And so some people don't learn until they get much older, or some people just never learn at all, no matter how much they age, right? But anyway, so, just a little recap, because what I'm mentioning here tonight is something I haven't mentioned in a while, is that the creator that I'm in court with, I'm the plaintiff, he's the defendant in a full-blown circuit civil case. A very serious case regarding defamation, malicious prosecution, regarding abuse of process, and also regarding intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's a very serious case. It's a real case. And I filed this case because I'm really tired. And, I'm really tired of what the defendant, along with many other people that have been acting in concert with him, have done to continue to smear my name all over YouTube, and it has affected me in many ways. And I want to get relief from that. And I have the right to try and get relief for that. Now, over the last 6 years, and this is factual, over the last 6 years, this person has created a massive smear campaign on me. I was talking a bit about it, I believe, yesterday and the day before, right? Doing whatever he can to tarnish my name and to amplify defamatory statements about me and situations about me that were taken way, way out of context. And he did the same thing again last night on his stream. He did the same thing again last night on his stream. Now, he filed an anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. That hearing is on January 9th. Also, to recap, we have another hearing scheduled on February 3rd, which is after the anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss hearing, which is after that point where the judge will decide if the case continues or not, right? Like I was saying yesterday, think about this. Why would the judge and the judicial assistant schedule a future hearing after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing if they didn't expect the case to survive? They wouldn't be wasting judicial resources like that. They wouldn't do that, right? So the decision to schedule that future hearing speaks mountains to me, right? Now, this smear campaign has gone on for a very long time and has been extremely profitable for the defendant. And the defendant in this case has always felt like he's entitled to use as much of my content as he likes, including hour or two long live streams and rebroadcasting those hour or two long live streams as they're happening live, and then putting rainbow toys, rainbow intimate toys in my mouth, putting braziers on me, having the ticker at the bottom of his screen saying donate to the, Trigger Eli Fund, right? Basically monetizing my content while violating my copyright and many other abusive things I don't have to mention right now. You folks that have been around for a while can figure out the rest. If you're new, yeah, this has been a lot. This guy has not been able to stop after 8 years, even to this current day, and he is the defendant in a major circuit civil case. And at this very moment, he's still not taking this case seriously. He's still amplifying. He's still amplifying defamatory statements. He's making postings that are erratic and all over the place, stating things that aren't true. And people in the comment sections are amplifying things that aren't true, right? Hey, ODN, how are you doing? He's lucky I don't take him to court for defamation. He's saying I went to his house and did you say throw? You said throw flyers when his... Okay. Yeah, I mean, if he's saying things like that that aren't true, that is defamatory. Now, here's the thing, ODN. I'll let you know this. There's stronger defamation. There's defamation, and then there's defamation per se. Defamation per se is stronger and more likely to be accepted by the court. An example, defamation per se would be, flat out accusing someone of a crime like he's accused me of embezzlement, right? He's called me a fraud. He says my business is a fraud, right? That's flat out defamation per se, right? What you have could be considered defamation, regular defamation, and technically could be actionable, but may not survive the judge. But hey, you can sue whoever you want. The point of the matter is, and we're going to get down to the bottom of this and say this, the point of the matter is, why is this guy continuing this really ridiculous behavior while he's in the middle of a pretty serious civil case, right? He's not taking the case seriously. He's not, right? In my opinion, I feel he's spiraling out of control, right? He's saying that you popped his tires. There's a literal video of him in his own car pretending to be me, and you can see his reflection in the mirror. Yeah, I heard that. He accused you of going to his area and popping his tires, right? My whole thing would be, where's the proof of that? Just because ODN responds to you because you say and do some things that are erratic and he calls you out doesn't mean he's going to show up at your house and pop your tires. If you have no proof of that and you're accusing him of something like that, that's a false statement as fact. That's defamatory as well. Right? But yet, look, I don't think ODN wants to pursue a big defamation case like this. It's a lot of work. I'm doing it because I'm not trying to take away from ODN. He's been harmed, but I've been harmed more than anyone here. And I feel that my case is going to set precedents for everything else. And once my case is done in a favorable outcome, let's say it's a favorable outcome for me, and then people continue after that, then there are going to be more lawsuits coming. We've got some light rain right now. So let's talk about what happened on his stream last night. For example purposes. Okay. I believe it was October 22nd. I filed and sent the defendant a notice of correction of falsity, meaning you falsely stated that I embezzled, and I'm sending you a letter within this court case letting you know, and then I filed it with the court, letting you know that what you're saying is not true. Please stop doing it, right? In other words, I put it more professional, but please stop doing it. I put it on the record. That was October 22nd. Since that time, he's amped it up. He's amped it up 2 other times. And then the person he's working in concert with, another woman that lives in the same state as he does in Florida, that's been trying to intervene in this case by making filings while not being an actual party in the case, right? And she doesn't want to file the actual motion to intervene because if the judge approves it and gives her any type of status in the case, then she's opening herself up to discovery. She does not want to open up herself to discovery. In my opinion, that's why I think she hasn't done that. So every other court filing she's made will be stricken. And what that leads me to believe, in my opinion, obviously, if she's not going to file a motion to intervene, all her other documents that were filed will be stricken, and they're done to try to overwhelm me to help the defendant in concert. That's my opinion. That's why I think it happened, right? Now, so since the time I sent the notice of correction of falsity, right? He made the embezzlement parody video, made a snippet of it. He called it a snippet. It was a YouTube short, right? And then like a day or 2 after that, this woman that's tried to make filings in the case, that is a close known associate of his acting in concert, actually shared that video and listed that video as a candidate for an upcoming show of hers for her 2025 like a special awards type of show that she wants to create, right? She played that whole video, effectively amplifying the defamation in that parody video that clearly is about myself and him in cartoon format, and it is completely identifiable to his audience as me, right? Now, so there have been 2 additional instances of him amplifying the embezzlement accusation, right? And then another one by, his known associate, right? Last night, he amped it up again. And not only did he amp it up, he said himself, I can't remember the exact words, but he said that I guess I'm amplifying this again. I can't remember exactly what he said and how he said it, but he basically admitted that he's redistributing the same video, and he said, I want you to file on this, right? So he's taunting me regarding that. What he did was he created a title I can't remember the exact title. It was a catchy title, leading his audience to believe, in my opinion, that he was going to be talking mad game about me, right? And then instead of starting his stream with his normal long intro, he started his stream with the first 2 seconds as a black screen, then it faded into the embezzlement video. He played it at the very beginning because he wanted people, in my opinion, to believe that he's going to be talking about me. And even if he didn't, he's already putting me back out there and amplifying that defamation of the embezzlement, right? But something interesting happened in that stream. He did something interesting because, number one, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, I think there's something psychologically wrong with him. That's just my opinion. I think he wanted to see if I would either talk about this or file with the court about this. He always does things to see how closely I'm watching. And I'm telling you this, when it comes to my reputation, I'm watching everything you do, and I have the legal rights to do so. I'm not stalking you. I'm not harassing you. I'm protecting my reputation that you've tarnished and that you've smeared for the last 6+ years. I have the right to do that. That's all I'm doing. Interestingly enough, his video, it was the same exact video except the ending. He trimmed the last like 5 or 7 seconds of the video. You know what part he trimmed? He trimmed the part where in the original he said, you can't sue someone for their beliefs, but you can log off. He trimmed that out. Why would he trim that out? Why would he trim that out? He purposefully trimmed that out because the original had that part in there. Did he want to see if I would catch on it? Or did he want to see if I would, catch on to it? Did he want to see if I was going to file another filing with the court on it? Was he trying to make it appear to his audience, in my opinion, that it was not true, so he took away his disclaimer per se, which it wasn't really even a disclaimer, but it was a half semi disclaimer that would not have, shielded him from the defamatory parody, right? But he intentionally removed that part. And I thought that was rather interesting. Maybe you do too, right? Oh, he said, I sent. Well, here's the thing. Oh, Deanne, you have to understand something. This guy says a lot of things for attention and to get views or to get people to show up to his live streams and to get donations. From what I've seen, in my opinion, he lies a lot to amp things up, to get reactions from people. He loves constantly making up things about people that he knows they'll react to, and when he gets those reactions, it fuels him to make content, right? Right? That seems to be his strategy, in my opinion, from what I've seen, right? Okay? So, he starts off the stream. He has a title that led everyone to believe he was going to talk about me. He also mentioned in an earlier stream yesterday, made by the woman that has tried to improperly intervene in the case, that's also a close known associate of his. He said in her stream that I'm going to be responding to Eli tonight. So he's basically been amping things up. He was amping things up, trying to get people to believe this whole stream was going to be about me because he knows his audience is primarily Eli haters that will only show up and stay for the entire streams as long as he's defaming me or trashing me or smearing me, right? Okay? So, what happened after that video? He didn't talk about me really much at all after that. But what he did do, in my opinion, is he used me like a sandwich. He was baiting everyone to think he was going to blast me, right? He plays the defamatory parody video at the beginning instead of his actual intro, right? He talks about a bunch of other people, and then at the very end, he completes the sandwich after filling up his stream with nonsense meat, in my opinion, that his audience doesn't care about, by playing a video that's over 6 years old. A video that initially was put out by ODN when him and I were having some issues during that time. And the reason why we had issues is because the defendant in this case had pinned and pitted us against each other. The defendant in this case has actively worked in concert with other people in his network throughout the years to intentionally drive a wedge between people that are getting along and getting in the fight, because that creates content for his network. So in essence, what he's always done, in my opinion, and it's happened, there's proof of it, but I'll just say in my opinion, right, is he pins and pits people against each other like he did to ODN and I in this situation, right? He had pinned and pitted ODN and I against each other. Now, I had a private conversation with ODN. I was under a lot of extreme emotional distress because of what the defendant was already doing to me back then, six years ago. All I wanted the defendant to do was stop, but he never stops. People that know him know he never stops. He still hasn't stopped to this day in the middle of a circuit civil case. Like he just doesn't get it, right? I mean, in my opinion, even if this guy was still in jail, or not still in jail, he has never been in jail. That was on the Freudian slip. Even if this guy, let's pretend hypothetically he was in jail, right? He would still find a way to get on the internet and still smear me, in my opinion. Like it just seems like this guy never wants to stop smearing me and trying to ruin my reputation and prevent me from, being able to grow out here on YouTube without having people constantly ask me about things that he's defaming me on. That's what's been happening. That's what the massive smear campaign has been, right? So he basically put out a video that's over 6 years old yesterday that ODN put out 6 years ago around that time, when I wasn't talking with ODN because I was trying to be nice to the defendant back then. I was trying to befriend him and be nice because all I wanted them to do was stop. And ODN thought at that time that I was screwing him over. And I can understand why ODN felt that way back then, because I would feel the same way if I was in his shoes, right? But the truth of the matter is, I was trying to just stop the bleeding with the guy that was causing all the issues. And that gave ODN the wrong idea. So ODN was upset. He felt like I betrayed his trust, and I kicked him to the curb to befriend the enemy. No, all I wanted to do was get the guy to stop. So I figured try to be nice to him, and I've always tried to be nice to him, but try to be extra nice to him might get him to back off. It didn't happen. But during that time, ODN was upset, and he released a highly edited portion of our conversation with the most damning stuff, right? Meaning that it sounded more damning than it actually was, right? And last night, the defendant ended up republishing something 6 years ago, from 6 years ago, that he's republished several times over the last 6 years in an attempt to, re-amplify defamatory statements, right? Now, he's accused me of being a doxer. He's accused me of, making false wellness checks. That's never happened, right? He's accused me of many other things. And the only thing that ever happened, the only thing I ever did, I did say some things in that private phone call that ODN put out in the video back then. Yes, I did say some things. And yes, I did offer ODN some money. But he never accepted the money. And none of the things that were talked about there actually happened. That was a private conversation. None of that happened. I've corrected that record many times over the years, and the defendant wants to continue amplifying that as making me a bad person and trying to basically go back 6 years and basically try to tarnish my reputation right now. Hey, I made some mistakes years ago. I corrected those mistakes. They were unintentional, and I've moved on, and I haven't done anything since. This guy can't get over himself. He continues to amplify that and tries to paint me as still being that way. I was never that way in the first place. Now, here's the thing. The one thing you didn't mention last night, I'll mention it myself. And you mentioned this because the reason why there's a malicious prosecution, cause of action in my complaint is because he tried to get a stalking order on me. I never stalked him or anything, right? And in the stalking case, he mentioned something in his filings and at the hearing that I assume he was probably going to wait to mention at the next hearing with Judge Stacy. I'll just say it right now publicly, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to say because I already know your next 100 moves. He didn't mention the fact that 6 years ago, during this time, right around the same time, he had done some things to me that really, really affected my health and created such a huge amount of stress and emotional distress that I went live from the studio, and for 30 minutes, I showed a picture of his house where he no longer lives anymore, right? For 30 minutes, I showed a picture of his house. He happened to see it live and take screenshots. Great. 30 minutes afterwards, I shut down the stream, I deleted the video, and then I apologized for it. Now, that's not one of my most proud moments. I overreacted. I had a ton of emotional distress. I just wanted the guy to stop. I was under such extreme emotional distress. And that particular situation alone is going to massively help prove my intentional infliction of emotional distress claim, because that act of me doing that was out of my character. It's going to show how far this guy pushed me with what he did to me online, to the point of where I lost control and did that stream showing his house at that time. And then I deleted it 30 minutes later and I apologized. I corrected it. I've never done anything like that since. Oh, hey, at Ball Tires in the Rain. Yeah, you know what? I finally recently unblocked you. I know you've been an ODN supporter for a while. From what ODN said to me, you just offered him money to help you out legally. Nothing illegal, so it's not. Well, my intentions have always been to do the right thing. And a lot of these people were harassing us, defaming us. It was really bad. They were doing some really bad things. I'm not going to get into everything because it'll take way too long right now. But no, the reason why I offered ODN money is because I wanted to donate to him, because he was on the right side of things. You know, he was on the right side of things, and, you know, he was all for the same thing I'm for, which is, you know, stopping the bad things from happening, right? and addressing the people that are doing those bad things and doing whatever we can, legally to handle it. Now, I overreacted on that phone call with ODN, and I said some things that I never did and never would have done. We all overreact, especially when we're under extreme emotional distress, right? So yeah, that's one thing that the defendant failed to mention last night when he accused me of being a doxer when he was playing that video of ODN, right? The video that ODN put out, the one where ODN and I had a private conversation, and then there were private screenshots shared on that, right? Okay. So, yeah, he accused me of being a doxer. He accused me of being a predator, meaning that he was putting things out there. This is what the people were saying about you, but you amplified it. You basically put that video out there and you amplified something that isn't true. You took it way out of context. You took it way out of context to make me look worse than it actually is. The truth of the matter is, I overreacted, said some things privately to someone that it somehow made its way public, and even then, I never acted on those things. And then you basically had been running with this for years, accusing me of actually doing those things, right? The only thing you should be accusing me of is basically having an emotional, having a lack of emotional control at that time, because that's what happened. And I was so emotionally distressed because of what you were doing to me. That's why I overreacted. You can accuse me of losing my shit, but you can't accuse me of doing anything without proof. I didn't do anything. None of those people left YouTube. They were actually producing long after, and some of them are still there. You like to amp things up to your audience to continue smearing me because that's what keeps them around and keeps them donating. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you've always done, right? And I'm not triggered. I'm just correcting the record. I'm correcting the record and saving my reputation that you still, to this day, after 6+ years, are still trying to smear. I'm no longer going to allow you to smear my name. And if I have to stand up for myself every day until this court case ends up holding you accountable, then I will do that. I'm not here to create issues. I'm not here to trash anyone, including you. I'm not here to use court for content. I'm here to defend my reputation that you are affecting publicly. This is where I want to run my business. This is what I want to do. And I will continue defending myself every single day until you stop. Or the court stops you, one or the other, right? Because you don't want to stop. You don't want to stop. Now, he makes his latest posting today. He puts something out there to the extent of that even people that don't like him are telling him that I have no case. Why do you feel the need to post that? If you sincerely, in your heart and soul, believe that you have this case in the bag and you're going to completely outright get my case dismissed at the January 9th motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing, then why are you getting so triggered and responding in postings? Is it because the opposite is true? Based on the filings and based on what you've done compared to what I've done, online and offline through the filings, most reasonable people would be like, wow, I can't believe this guy has done all this. You're trying to make it come off like you've done everything right and I've done everything wrong. And just go look at the docket and go watch your videos compared to mine. They're much different. My filings are much cleaner and to the point. They're not emotionally reactive. You're very emotionally reactive. You are. You have a hard time controlling yourself, in my opinion. And see, your emotions, in my opinion, sir, are what I feel have gotten you in trouble all your life because you can't contain your emotions. You can't let anything go. Even if you legitimately lose something, you won't stop until the other person agrees that you won and they lost, even if you lost fair and square. And I'm not even trying to compete with you. All I'm trying to tell you is right and wrong is wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You try to turn something that's definitively wrong into a right every time because you can't live with yourself ever making a mistake, or at least ever admitting publicly on YouTube or otherwise to making a mistake. Mistakes are human nature, man. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are human nature. You learn from them. They make you a better person, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Mistakes are the best learning tool you're ever going to have because you learn to not make the same mistake again because you realize what it costs you, right? You realize what those mistakes cost you, right? Apparently, you're struggling to learn from your mistakes. Apparently, maybe you don't think you're making any mistakes. To the average everyday person, and I'm not talking about people in the group. See, people in your audience are just like you. They think like you. They are like you, right? So those people are going to automatically, they're going to automatically pat you on the back. They're going to automatically say you're right. Unless you are insane, meaning what, babe? From what Odian said to me. Oh, we already read that. More specific, babe. It's a good thing it's not even sprinkling right now. So I'm going to make it before the rain starts. This is good. This is really, really good. So yeah. I mean, if you're certain about knocking out my case completely, then why are you so loud? Because see, people that are confident and secure and they know they're in a good place, they're not going to be loud. Now see, I'm talking about this because I want to protect my reputation. That's the only reason why I'm talking about this. But I'm not very triggered. I'm not even triggered at all. Right? I'm not triggered at all. I'm just having a conversation and taking a walk. Right? But you're triggered and you're trying to compose yourself. I could tell on your stream last night. You were triggered. That's why you put out that video. When you see, here's the thing. This is what I've learned about you in 8 years, right? What I've learned about you in 8 years is that when you get boxed in, right? When you get boxed in, at that point, you go to the lowest of the low, right? Why are you boxed in? What can you file right now? There's really not much you can file right now. You've already got 2 hearings on the docket, one almost a month after your motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. And why would they schedule a hearing almost a month after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP if they didn't plan on continuing the case? Think about that. And you did that to yourself. You're basically telling the judge and the judicial assistant that, hey, I'm largely assuming, in my opinion, this is what filing for a hearing after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP says. It says that I don't think the case is going to be dismissed, so let's file a future hearing that has no relevancy to the anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. It's only relevant to the regular part of the case once the case survives, right? Did you even realize that when you asked for this hearing? Did you even realize that? Why would what happens in February even matter, right? if you definitively knew my case would be dismissed outright. And then you're trying to say that all these people, even people that don't like you, are telling you the case is going to be dismissed. The only people telling you, or not that, they're telling you that it's not going to work out, dismissed or otherwise, right? They're telling you that for one reason. It's not because of their hatred for you. It's because of their greater hatred towards me. They may hate you, but they hate me worse. But realistically, sir, they hate themselves more than anything. That's the problem. And I think deep down inside, nickel's worth of free advice. I think that's always been a part of your problem, in my opinion. Because if you had enough self-love and love for this world, and you really wanted to be a better person and a good Samaritan, you would have never done what you did in the first place that got you sued in this case. You put yourself in this position. And think again. The moment you filed that motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, the moment that you filed that, the judge could have dismissed my case. The judge could have dismissed my case anytime between then and now. It's been 2 months since you filed that, and my case is still active. And there's a future hearing set for February 3rd after your motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. And I really hope everyone in your audience that's pretending to support you, when they know the truth about what's going to happen, right, or more than likely going to happen, because their hatred for you is less than their hatred for me. Yeah, they hate you, but they hate me more, right? It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird dynamic, right, that I want nothing to do with. But the bottom line is, until you stop smearing me and defaming me and doing all this stuff, they're not going to stop, right? And you don't want them to stop because you need amplifiers to keep you going. It pats you on the back. It makes you feel relevant. It makes you feel like you have some kind of a purpose, which technically it's a false sense of purpose, right? That's what you need those people for, right? You see, here's the thing with me. With me, I have self-love. At the end of the day, I'm happy to be with Dawn. I love Dawn with all my heart. I'm glad I'm with her. She's great company. So are her dogs, our dogs now. But let's say I was single and alone. I could go home at the end of the night and be happy just being alone. I'd rather be with somebody, but I'm happy being alone. I'm happy with myself, right? And that's the first step of correcting anything. You got to find self-love within yourself. And I really don't think that's happening here. And that's just my opinion. That's a kind opinion. That's not insulting or anything. I just think that you lack self-love. Right? You've got a very vengeful attitude or personality. You always feel like you have to get revenge or retaliate on someone. And then you project saying that, oh, Eli's just filing this case because he's retaliating. No, I'm not retaliating on anything. You've smeared my name for the last 6+ years. You've monetized the shit out of my content while smearing my name, while getting paid thousands a month from a sponsor that ran a caregiving company that never went anywhere. Let's put it that way, right? That was bogus in my opinion. It was, in my opinion, that company was bogus. Where is it today? Right? You want to talk about any bogus company? In my opinion, that company was more bogus than mine would ever be. What did he ever do with that company? Did he ever help anyone? Did he ever give anyone information? Or was it just, in my opinion, let me say it again, in my opinion, was it just a place to funnel tax write-offs to be able to donate to people like you in my opinion, with the intention to create harassing and defamatory content on me, but at the same time, you'd come out and say, oh, I'm just being sponsored to create content in general. Give me a break. That's what you're going to say. You're not going to say otherwise. Give me a break. I've heard the truth from other people, and we're going to leave it at that. Okay? I'm going to walk around the lot for a little bit. We are at 50, what? Is that 56 minutes? Yeah. 56 minutes, and I'm going to walk around a little bit more. If it starts to pour, we'll go under the overhang for a few, and if it doesn't pour, we'll walk another 15, 20 minutes around the lot here, because there's still a little bit more to say, right? It's a smear campaign. I honestly, personally think this person enjoys smearing me. It makes him feel good about himself. It makes him feel good, in my opinion, that he smears me to the point of where he knows it's affecting people from wanting to work with me, being able to trust me. I'm a good person, man. I'm a much better person than you think I am. You know, I said a few things 6 years ago. I haven't repeated anything close to that in 6 years, right? And you keep amplifying that stuff to try to paint me as the worst criminal on the planet because it suits the narrative of your audience. Well, that's why we're in court, because I'll tell you what, we're going to let Judge Stacy look at this case, whatever I've filed so far and any future filings, right? Whatever I've filed so far and any future filings, we're going to let her look at it. And then we will go to the hearings, right? You'll ask me questions, I'll ask you questions, right? And we'll deal with it then. Because I'll tell you this. Let me tell you what I think, sir, respectfully. I say this respectfully, right? Let me tell you what I think. Do you remember who was it that had that security blanket? Was it Linus? It wasn't Snoopy. It was Linus, right? Somebody let me know in the chat. In the cartoon Peanuts, what was that? Charles Schultz? I can't remember. I think it was Schultz, right? In the cartoon, the Peanuts cartoon, it was Linus that had that blanket, right? Yes, thank you, babe. Correct me if I'm wrong. In my opinion, I think that YouTube to the defendant is like his version of Linus's security blanket. You see, here's the thing, defendant. YouTube is your security blanket. This is not the real world. This is your fictitious world in the way that you've decided to feel it should run. The problem is you're doing it in the real world, and the real world has consequences even in your fictitious world, right? In my opinion, right? Your fictitious world out here on YouTube has real world consequences that no one is immune from, including you and I or anyone else, right? So YouTube is your security blanket, just like to Linus, he has a security blanket because that makes him feel secure, right? What makes you feel a sense of security within yourself is YouTube and your YouTube audience validating you and donating to you. And without that, you lose your shit. I've seen it happen time and time again. Because I'll tell you, this is the one thing. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just stating my opinions here, respectfully. The thing that triggers you more than anything is when people call you out on the truth. And whenever you react, you typically react because the truth stings you more than anything, right? You make community postings, you go live, and then you put out 6-year-old videos that are irrelevant to your case. Do you realize that you are not involved? That video has nothing to do with you. The only thing that video has to do with you is that you exploited that to further defame my character assassinate me, and continue your ongoing constant smear campaign even to this day. That's the ODN. If you're still around, correct me if I'm wrong. There's no relevancy for him using that video in this case. Now, I don't care if you use it. I don't care if you use it. Doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. I'm a proactive guy. I'll tell you this. At some point down the road, anything I think that you're going to file, I'll go ahead and file it, or I will respond to it, and I've already got my response. The bottom line is that your massive attacks and smear campaigns over the years, they did cause me a lot of emotional distress. They did. And they got me to overreact and do things I would never do under normal circumstances. That's how far you took it with me. That's how it affected me. Now, we'll put it in the court's hands and let them decide, right? But that video, your known associate that you didn't like for a while, but you rejoined forces with her earlier this year because your ship was sinking, right? Especially when I started to stand up for my copyright and your channel started going down, and then we started going to the Copyright Claims Board, Small Claims Copyright Court, and because you opted out of that, now here we are in civil court. And then you took me to try to get a stalking injunction on me. That failed, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. It has nothing to do with you. The value to you, it's a piece that you want to continue using to smear me, to keep your audience alive, and to keep getting donations. That's why I'm here talking about it, because I'm tired of you defaming me. I'm tired of you smearing me. I'm going to stand up for myself. And that's exactly what I'm going to say in court. What I'm telling you here right now is nothing different than I will say in court, is either already in a filing or will be in a future filing. And I can file whatever I want, as long as it's reasonable and it's proper. Listen, if you insult me, I'm not going to file that. If you insult me, I'm not going to file that. Right? If you defame me, smear me, and do other stuff like that, that's obvious. You figure out what you would do if I did that to you. I haven't done that to you. Right? This is an actual response video / educational video. This is an educational video of what I would suggest doing if your name is being tarnished in the ways you've done it to me. You got to talk about it. Your audience wants to hear about it. And you people that are coming across you and then seeing the slander and smear campaign you've created on me, even currently, they're going to come across you, they're going to come across me, and they're going to actually understand why it's going on. Right? I'm not going to sit back anymore and allow anyone to slander my name, my business's name, or anyone that I care for that's helping me here trying to expand this positive message and positive organization. If you don't like what I do, if you didn't like some of the things I said in the past by mistake, get over yourself. Move on. You have no reason to bring things up from 6 years ago. You're not triggering me. I'm not triggered. But anyone that would come across that stream, and there are still people new coming across your streams, Anyone that would see that would get the wrong idea. You take it out of context. You take all that stuff out of context. Okay? The one mistake I made was showing your house 6 years ago under extreme emotional distress. I apologize for that. I took that down right away. You never did a thing about that because to you it was more valuable to continue restreaming me. So you let it go because you were making more money, stealing my content and defaming me than trying to take some action for a mistake I made showing your house. And that was 6 years ago. And then in the stalking case, even Judge Bowie said, when did this happen? That was 2020. And she goes, it's 2025. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because somebody's talking really loud here. Okay. She goes, when did that happen? 2020. It's 2025. I was like, in my head, I'm sitting there, I'm on Microsoft Teams, and I'm like, this guy doesn't get it. First of all, it's beyond the statute of limitations. Second of all, I can't remember if I explained it. I think I explained it in the actual filings. I never got a chance, I believe, to explain that in court, but they saw the filings. Judge Bowie saw the filings beforehand. She saw his and saw mine. They get briefed on the cases, the judges, and they knew the polarity difference between myself and, in that case, the defendant in my case here now was the petitioner, and I was the respondent. Petitioner plaintiff, they call it the petitioner in an injunction case. The defendant is called the respondent, right? Okay? Come on. The judge read right through you. If anything, in my opinion, you tried to get a stalking order on me to retaliate me taking your channels down because you violated my copyright, and you have, and then taking you to small claims court. And I could still take you to copyright court, federal copyright court. I've got like over 2.5 years still left to do that. I've reserved the right to do that as well. You already know that. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. You haven't stopped after all these years. We're in a circuit civil case. I've got mountains of evidence on you. We've got the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP hearing coming up on the 9th, and then a future hearing set. So that should tell you something right there. But you are still trying to play it off like there's no case, right? And do you see, like, you didn't get a lot of comments. You had like 5 comments last I checked on that posting from earlier today. You didn't really have a lot of comments, right? Right? You really don't get a lot of comments unless you really, really lead your audience to believe that I've harmed you. But the more you say I've harmed you in defamatory ways, the more that gets reported to the court. The more malice you create for yourself, the more reckless disregard for the truth you create for yourself, right? So it's like you're trying to balance out, okay, well, I'm not getting the traction on this message. It's not outrageous enough. I'm not saying enough nasty shit about Eli. But let me see, how far can I push it without it affecting the case anymore? You're thinking at it. See, this is the problem. You're more concerned about what YouTube thinks about you than the court. And here's the thing: if you want to keep playing that route, that's on you. If you want to continue focusing more on what your YouTube audience thinks about you and I, right? Eventually, one day, and it's coming sooner than you think, you're going to have to face reality in court. And let me tell you something: court is not YouTube, right? Court is not YouTube. Judge Stacy's not going to sit there and deal with your YouTube theatrics in the court, right? She's not going to do that. Oh, and one more thing. Here's the thing, right? I was thinking about this because I'm always thinking like 100 steps ahead of you, right? Because I know your favorite thing to do is the sneak attack. You like to catch people off guard. Something's coming and Eli doesn't know, right? Right? Here's another thing. I was thinking about this today, right? I was thinking about it. I'm actually going to give my girlfriend Dawn credit for it, right? She actually mentioned this to me, right? And she was saying, I shouldn't say anything. And I said, you know what? What does it matter whether I say something or not? Here's the thing. What you don't realize about the defendant here, babe, respectfully, babe, and I told her this, what you don't realize is that he lives for the element of surprise. He loves it when he catches people off guard and then they get triggered over it. Then he can make YouTube content on it, right? And then he feels powerful, right? But when you take his element of surprise away from him, that triggers him so much more, right? So let's do that again. Let's do that one more time. Let's take away his element of surprise one more time. How's that? Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to take away his element of surprise one more time before we wrap up this show. Put a 1 in the chat if you want that. Tia, in my opinion, I do not feel everyone on that side believes what he says. I think some pity him. Oh, yeah, absolutely, in my opinion, yeah. Tia says 1. Okay. So here's the thing. So I already said this over a month ago, and then I got an email, and I've heard from some other people that you're going to try to ambush me at the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP by hiring an attorney at the last minute. First of all, let me see. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hi, Eli in chat. How are you? I cannot even read your channel name. This is so... It's so hard to read this. Welcome to the show. Here's the thing. You're going to need at least a week, maybe more, to get any attorney prepped. You know, they're going to need at least 10 hours of prep time and a hearing. So that's going to be at least $3 to $5 grand. I'm also hearing that, and this could be true or not, I'm just saying it could be true or not be true. This is my opinion. This is what I've heard. The information could be bad or good. I'm not stating it as fact. I'm stating it as my opinion that somebody's going to pay you to hire an attorney. That's great. No problem. I don't care who pays you to hire an attorney. And now, based on what Dawn said, Dawn's very smart. Love you, babe. Tia says, hi, team. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the warm welcome. Yeah, they've been here before. His followers know he's nuts. Okay. Well, Tia just banned you. I don't know why, but it's all good. No worries, Tia. If you think he's trolling. Anyway, so my prediction is he's going to try to hire an attorney. And then we'll have the hearing, and either at the hearing or maybe a few days or a week before, he'll file, and I believe it's a motion. He'll file a motion to what do you call it? To extend the hearing, meaning that what's the word I'm seeking? I can't remember what the word is. Tia unblocked you. Sorry about that. Tia unblocked you. BHY492, whatever it is. I'm sorry. I can't even read that. Anyway. It's a continuance. Sorry, it's a continuance. He's going to file for see my... It's been a long day, but a good day, right? He's gonna have his attorney, in my opinion, more than likely file for a continuance, either a week or so before the hearing, or try to get it at the hearing, right? Here's the problem with that. He's had well over 2-3 months to hire an attorney, right? He's had, at that point, he will have had 3 months to hire an attorney. He also has a future hearing set. We have a future hearing set, but he set both these hearings are because of him. These were his hearings. These hearings were initiated by him, right? So, and why would he file a motion why would he file for a continuance? I think it's a motion. I can't remember. I think it is a motion. I believe it is, because anything that is going to need action from the judge is a motion. So it's going to be a continuance motion, right? Why would he file that? Because maybe at that point, he'd want to have an attorney actually go through the case longer, represent him, or delay going into discovery, because even if one of my causes of action survive, the case gets to discovery. And at that point, we've got interrogatories. I will ask him for information of people that have been acting in concert. If he denies that after 30 days, I will file a motion to compel production of evidence from the court. If he denies that, then I will file for Judge Stacy to court order YouTube and Google and other platforms for social media information to identify these people, so that way we can hold them accountable and get them to stop amplifying defamatory statements about me. That's what's going to happen. Perfectly legal, and it's going to go through all the channels, right? You're welcome, Sis Tia. Thank you. I was wondering why I was blocked. Yeah, it was a mistake. Tia's phone every now and then has some glitchy issues. It's all good. It's an honest mistake. No worries. Not a big deal. You're good, Tia. And everyone's good. Everyone is good, right? We're at 72 minutes, and it said it was going to have showers right now on the weatherchannel.com website for my laptop, and no showers. That's good. 5-10 more minutes. Start getting your final questions, comments, or concerns in the chat here. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 to 10 minutes. Let me take the last 5 to 10 minutes here to try to be, I'm already being reasonable, right? I'm being honest and reasonable. Let me try to be reasonable with the defendant here. Why prolong this? Why continue to put yourself through this? You're continuing to make it sound like you've done nothing wrong, and you're trying to make it come up like you've done nothing wrong and blah blah blah. Nothing's going to happen. But I think deep down inside you realize the allegations against you and the severe amount of evidence against you. And I think you realize that court is not YouTube. You can't play the judge like you can play YouTube people. You can't. At some point, you're going to have to answer to that. Whether you like me or not, whether you think you're wrong or right, or I'm wrong or right, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't even matter what I think. It matters what the judge thinks, right? It doesn't matter what YouTube thinks, right? The circuit court, in this case, Judge Stacy, doesn't care about what YouTube thinks. She cares about what's happening in the court, within the filings, within the hearings. She doesn't care for YouTube theatrics or games or emotional outbursts, right? And here's the thing. I'm going to be very honest at these hearings. And here's the thing. The bottom line is this, right? I'm just being honest. I know your behavior. I've seen your behavioral patterns for years. I saw your behavioral pattern when you try to get a stalking order on me. In court, when someone is cool, calm, and collected, and you know the only way you have a chance of winning is by triggering them, when you couldn't trigger me in that case, You even try to tell the judge, this is not who he really is. He doesn't behave this way. He's being professional on purpose. Dude, this is who I am. I've always been professional. The only time on YouTube I wasn't professional was when you guys started coming at me and slandering me, and you put me in this position, and I didn't know how to defend myself back then. But for the most part, I've always been professional and, most importantly, reasonable, right? I'm surprised it's not pouring right now. You still around, babe? Don't worry, Tia. Sorry you read it wrong. No big deal. My question to you, we're in court. We're in the highest civil court possible. Circuit Civil Court. This is a real case. This is a full-blown civil case. This is not an injunction hearing. This is not a small claims case. It's a full-blown circuit civil case. The highest court of the state for civil matters. And you're not taking it seriously. You're treating court like it's a YouTube drama shit show, in my opinion. Right? Why? Why aren't you taking this seriously? Right? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that you were right and I was wrong about this case, which that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that hypothetically, right? Let's say that your case was stronger than mine, and you're right and I'm wrong. For example purposes only. That's not the case. You behaving the way you are and filing the way you are and behaving the way you are on YouTube and what you're doing and behaving how you behave in a courtroom setting would lose you, in my opinion, would lose you your own case that you had the advantage on, because you can't keep your composure ever in a professional environment, usually, in my opinion, unless everything goes your way. Like, you're the kind of guy that unless everything 100% goes your way, you lose your composure. I hope I get to see him in court again. You really want to see him in court again, huh? I look forward to it. I look forward to January 9th and February 3rd, and who knows, maybe the January 9th hearing will be vacated. Maybe Judge Stacy will rule on the papers regarding the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Anything can happen. Must see TV. Well, I get why you're saying that. Listen, this case is very serious for me. Look. We can have a little fun, and I'm cool with that. Listen, I'm cool with that. But and here's the thing. This guy and his group of people, they're very, in my opinion, they're very, very, they're very deeply affected people mentally and emotionally, right? A lot of these people are saying that I'm doing this because my fifis are hurt. Here's the thing. My feelings are not hurt. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. Have a good night, everyone. My girlfriend, when she puts that message out there, she wants me to end the show. 5 minutes, babe, okay? Here's the thing. My fifis are not hurt, at least not anymore. Initially, years ago, I didn't even know what was really going on, right? I just wanted to create, run a business, and collaborate with people. And then this started happening, including the defendant that I'm in court with today, right? And yeah, maybe my feelings were hurt initially because I didn't understand. My feelings are not hurt anymore. This is not about hurt feelings. This is about reputational harm that affects me from being able to function on this platform as Elias Melas. Right? This is completely about reputational harm. Regardless of what I create on YouTube, it could be anything. Even if I was just running a channel that wasn't for profit or anything like that, and I just wanted to help people for free. No one would trust me if my reputation was harmed, right? This is about reputational harm. This is about slander, a smear campaign, right? And this is about not just the defendant, but it's about the many people that have helped him amplify his message. He created this network. He is the main person, right? He is what you call the head of the snake, right? You know what's even more pathetic is that woman yesterday. I'll read the chat in a second. That woman yesterday, the one that's tried to intervene in the case, she and the one that works very closely with him, they're close known associates, right? When this guy got in the chat, she was saying, you know, when he gets here, you know, I get a little flustered. You get a little flustered or something like that. I can't remember. I think the word you did use was flustered, right? Why? Why does he have such an effect on you? I'm just wondering. I'm not gonna express my opinions because you'll just take it way out of context and you'll try to accuse me of something that's not true. I'm not going to feed more into that. But obviously, you feel some kind of a connection there. Maybe it's just the type of content you both like to create. In my opinion, it's defaming people for dollars, right? Defamation for dollars. And maybe you relate to that, right? Right? He has zero self-awareness. He looked like he skateboarded to the courthouse. Please hit the thumbs up if you wish. Have a good evening. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not here to criticize. I'm not here to criticize anyone directly for their wardrobe. But here's the thing. You don't go into a courthouse looking like he did. You go into a courthouse wearing, at the very minimal, business casual. You wear a nice polo shirt. You wear some dressy slacks. You wear dressy shoes. You wear dressy socks. You have your beard done nice and neat. I did my beard the other day, so I don't look like a grizzly bear. Sorry, I don't look like a grizzly bear anymore. Shaved my head, right? You basically go to court looking presentable, like you would be going to a wedding, right? Or like you'd be going to church almost. Maybe not quite church, but even church you can wear, you know, business casual at the very least. Some people wear a suit, some people wear business casual, right? I mean, you don't go into a courtroom setting looking like a lumberjack wearing plaid flannel shirts, right? I mean, no disrespect intended. Like honestly, you don't go into court if you're trying to, especially if you're the petitioner or the plaintiff, right? If you're the defendant, you should still be presentable. I always am. That was embarrassing. Oh my God, was that embarrassing? I bet he didn't even know it was being recorded. It's public. It's a public video. Anyone can get it. It's on YouTube too. Somebody else put it on YouTube. That's how you all saw it. I bought my own copy. Like literally, this it was later on in the day. Either later on the day or the next day, I got a copy of it. I think it was like $25. And then I also ordered a certified copy of the transcript. You see, every case I'm involved in, I always order a certified transcript. Costs a couple $100, but it's worth it because if you need to file another case on the same person or someone that they're closely connected to, you have all the information transcribed, and it's officially done by a court reporter. It's an official court document, right? Yeah, that was quite an embarrassment. You look like you look like a lumberjack going into court. Like even a lumberjack would wear a suit or a nice dressy polo shirt with a collar, right? Dressy slacks, a nice dressy belt, black or brown belt, depending on the color of your shoes you're wearing and stuff like that. I mean, come on. The janitor was dressed better than him. Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. The courthouse janitor probably dressed better than he did that day. Oh, God. It's all good, Here's the thing. He thinks this is going to affect my court case. You can send this to Judge Stacy if you want. I'm not defaming you. I'm not saying anything that's not true. I'm sharing with people what's going on. I'm sharing with people that I'm tired of being smeared by you, and I have the right to defend my honor over things that I know are false. And I'm proving them to be false even through the court of law, right? You can end this, man. Here's the thing. I'm open to settlement. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not scared. I'm just saying, your way out of this is settlement. Because you're looking at discovery coming up around the corner. Right? Now, here's the thing. Again, even if one of my causes of action survives, we enter discovery. And here's the thing. I don't know what Judge Stacy's going to do. It's up to her. I'm putting this in Judge Stacy's hands, right? She might rule Monday or Tuesday that your motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP is denied, and we move on to discovery, right? The moment even one part is denied and at least parts of my complaint move on, is the moment discovery starts. That's what you fear the most. That's what's triggering you the most. That's what's triggering your audience the most, right? And that's what you want to protect, right? So here's the thing. It would be wise for you. I'm just saying, it would be wise for you to want to try and settle this even before the hearing. Because I'm going to tell you what, right now, before the hearing, is the best settlement offer you're going to get from me. After the hearing, the settlement is going to go sky high, because guess what? At that point, it's going to be either settle or discovery happens, right? And that's just the way the system works, right? I have the right to negotiate. I have the right to throw it out there, right? So the bottom line is this. Right now is the best deal you're going to get. Unfortunately, that deal right now is still going to be pretty, it's not going to be simple. It's still going to be something that, it's going to be something. Because I know the position I'm in right now. And I know the position you're in, right? Right? But again, I'm not saying you got to take a deal, right? Or offer a deal. Or be open to it. I'm just saying right now, at this point right now, is the best deal you're going to get. The price of the deal after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, if anything survives, significantly goes up. Because then you're open to discovery. Then if you don't accept my deal, if you don't accept my settlement offer exactly the way that I want it and need it to be, then we start to, do interrogatories, motion to compel production of evidence, subpoena court orders to YouTube, Google, Discord, and everyone else, right? I'm just laying out a timeline for you, right? I'm being real nice about it too. I'm sharing with you what's coming next. And you and your audience can sit there and pat each other on the back and try to downgrade how serious this is from the real world. This is the real world. This is not YouTube. This is the real world. The real world knows how serious this is, right? I know exactly what's coming up. Do you know what's coming up? Do you know what's coming up? This is your best shot right now. You want to settle this? This is the best you're going to get. And I'm telling you, this settlement's still going to be something that you're probably not going to like. I know you're not going to like it because it does involve money. Of course it does involve money. But I'll tell you this right now. This settlement right now is going to be the lowest monetary value you're going to get. Because after the motion to dismiss anti-SLAPP, that monetary number, along with injunctive relief, goes way up. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not suing you for anything monetarily, so you know what, no money, right? No, I'm going to file for punitive damages when the case continues because you've already created so much reckless disregard that there is a strong chance that when we go to trial, and if I win, the jury will award me punitive damages that are greater than anything you would pay me in a settlement. So if you want to leverage the fact that there's no money involved here, no, there's money going to be involved. I'm telling you how it's going to be involved, right? I'm also saying right now is the time where you're going to get the best deal. It's still going to cost you some money. And it's going to be a good amount of money, but it'll be significantly higher afterwards, right? Or you can roll the dice all the way to trial and then see what happens with punitive damages and the rest of the conduct order terms and otherwise, right? You're not taking this seriously. You won't until the judge goes, judgment for plaintiff, right? You won't. I'm just telling you what's up ahead. So you can think about it for a little while, right? Because you're acting like you know everything and you're acting like you think you've got this in the bag. And the more you continue to think that, that's good. That's actually good for me. The more you think you've got this in the bag, that's better for me. The more you think you've got this in the bag, that's better for me. It's very telling to me. All right. We are at 92 minutes. Wow, it didn't pour. an hour and 32 minutes. Before I go, who's still here? Put a 1 if you're still here. Put a 1 if you're still here. Another 10, 15 seconds. We're going to go off the air. Put a 1 if you're still here. We're about to go off the air. All right. Got to go. Love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. TS says 1. I bet Don's still around too. Have a good one. Take care. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Team R. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.